Okay, so with the brass knuckles, we're going to put the fingers in their appropriate holes. Just squeeze it. Simple as that. Remember, just like from the video, the instructional portion, we're going to protect this at all times and just use it. You may be using it to pin him and work him over. How this could be used would be to regulate, work the body. You can, with weapons like these, you would be able to regulate the force, and non-lethal target areas would increase the effect. So another advantage that why these types of weapons were used. So to start, we're going to just open up with the rising jab. Hands just regularly at your side. We're not starting in a boxing stance. You're just going to let your hands snap up right into their face. Again, this is very similar to the finger dart that you've been practicing. Now we're just doing it with the front two knuckles. These front two knuckles just snap up into your target. You're just getting them that reaction. All you want them to do is flinch. They flinch. That's going to allow us to follow up with a more devastating technique and let the weapon do the work. So practice that rising jab just right from a ready position. You do from your interview stance, so your feet are forward, weight are front, snap, 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 and then snap. Once you get a little comfortable, let your weight fall into the target, snap, because you're going to be following up with a barrage of techniques. So just snap. Okay. Once you've gone through those sets, they feel comfortable. We're going to follow up now. We're going to start our reverse punch. It's going to be in two phases. Remember, we talked about throwing. So we want to start to kind of get the feel that we're on a pitcher's mound, not in a boxing ring. So you're going to stand, feet together, just like you were, and this would be home plate. You're going to step and open up your hips. You're going to really want to expose your second hip. So you got your first hip, second hip, step, bang. Hip drives to the target. So don't think about punching, just let your hand move. And you're actually going to think about throwing. So you're here, step, whip. Watch my foot. Get a little bit farther away, step, and let your back foot trail, just like you would be pitching. Same mechanics. Step, pitch. Step, step. After you work that, and you could possibly be doing these hundreds of times, but just for now, just 10, 25 times, just till it starts feeling a little comfortable. Now, you're going to the next step, phase 2, is just from now our relaxed ready position or interview position. Now we're going to just do the same motion. To the head. Remember, let your body follow through. This is going to ensure that all your weight is behind your attack. This is the best way to do it. So now, we've got our jab, we've got a reverse punch. And this is all going to set us up for all of our hand and fist techniques with the SAP gloves as well. Next is just going to be our lead hook. Okay? So, we're letting that, again, we're not starting from a stance, we're just starting from this relaxed ready position. We're going to let that hand just come out and whip. Feet, step, turn. Okay. Don't worry about, telegraphing your hips too much or anything like that. Because when you're in a fight, it's, your motion is going to just bang. You're going to have a little bit more time than you think, especially if you attack first. So Here, stand, let the hip whip out, let the arm come out in a nice arched position, fist turned over, elbow locked. And it's the lead hook. Next is that rear hook. So, similar to the lead hook, driving it straight over, turning the knuckles over. Same. You're not worried about, staying tight and boxing. Okay, we're really concerned with maintaining our balance, but getting as much power into our target as possible. You don't want to be sloppy and falling over, but you do want to generate as much power as you can. So that's why it's important to start practicing these. That's why it's important to train. If you don't train, you don't know. All right. Next is going to be reverse uppercut with the rear hand. So just to review, let's just go back a second. We got our rising jab. We have our reverse punch. We have our lead hook, turning the knuckles over. We have our rear hook, turning the knuckles over. Again, that rear hook, let the hip twist, let the body whip through the target. Fifth technique is going to be the reverse uppercut from the rear. So this is that rising up. And letting it whip. One of the things we do sometimes as you're practicing, play around with it, is just turning the wrist up as you're coming up. So the wrist is just slightly cocked up. Step. So as you swing, and yes, I am winding, my hand always reminds me of the Little Rascals. I know I'm dating myself, but you let that swing and your hips, you're just using all your momentum and your body weight and really just pushing and driving that weight up. So you would step, bang, and that comes up. So imagine him, you'll have this time to wind up, especially he's bent over, bang. Okay, following up with that technique. Okay, it's not an opening technique. Okay, here he'd be moving, he'd be down, you'd step, and up. And up again. We're not fighting with the glove. So yes, this is fine. But this is a little better. Driving it straight up. Okay, so you've got the first 5, and the last technique is going to be the lead back fist. Now this comes either across, like an edge of hand, or over, even similar to a vertical edge of hand. So the back of the front 2 knuckles, step, again, just let this whip your body. Again, hit with those 2 knuckles, tilt, and find that you'll cant the wrist a little bit. And instead of necessarily keeping it flat, you would snap it. And this will come with this whipping motion. Hips, whip. Still that same, like you're throwing a reverse punch. Okay, now, bang. All right, so we've got our 6 primary punches. There's several more, but these 6 for these applications will do you just fine. If you're boxing, work out, other hand combinations while using your SAP gloves or your, brass knucks. But remember, when you're using a weapon like brass knuckles, you're going to have to keep these types of techniques soft or, open hand strikes to follow up with it. Combinations, again, walking up to somebody and just bang, that would work too, all right? But the combinations that you're just going to practice, just kind of designed to let the weapon come out and do what it needs to do. The first one is going to be the front whip kick, finger dart, tiger claw, reverse punch, your body or to the head. All right. So you would set, whip, tiger claw. Okay, I always find I'm throwing in an extra edge of hand in there. So you would whip kick, finger dart, tiger claw, punch. In this instance, we're just whip kicking, In this instance, we're just whip kicking, finger dart, tiger claw, holding him back, and then bash. I don't know if you can see what's happening to the dummy, but it's some pretty nasty stuff. Okay, I mean, this thing, obviously, you see, we practice. So, this is just coming in right into the chin, right into the throat. So, it's a whip kick, finger dart, tiger claw, pushing his head back, opening him up, bang, bringing in the artillery. Okay, as you notice when I'm practicing sometimes, heck, it's whatever comes natural. So when you're working these combinations, these are just merely suggestions. As long as you're working within the realm of, within the parameter of, okay, I'm opening him up, now I'm batting cleanup. All right. So next combination is going to be a short edge of hand, long edge of hand, reversed uppercut. So we'll start from our interview position. It'll be short edge of hand, long edge of hand, and then reverse uppercut. And let it swing. So you're just edge of hand, long edge of hand, stay covered. He moves, bang. Bringing that reverse uppercut. That time, I didn't bring it straight up. It just kind of came in on an angle. That's completely fine. Okay, completely fine. Next will be the lead slap, short edge of hand, rear hook punch. So we're going to start lead slap, okay, short edge of hand, and rear hook punch. So you're going to let the hip dictate it, hands slightly cupped, just like from Mod 2, hits into the ear, side of the head, gives him a nice whack, and causes that concussive force in the brain, starts to send him into shock. Follow edge of hand, and then that rear hook punch. It's right over. So is this one really not stepping? It's an opening technique. Start. You should always be, you don't want to be necessarily standing toe to toe at all, even with these techniques. So you're going to be slapping, hitting, moving off center line. Plus you presume that hopefully you're hitting him, so he is moving. So, just 3 combinations. 3, maybe 4, no more than that. Simply because you don't want to get, unless you've got a mobile target, you don't want to get used to used to standing still, just like we do when we're practicing. Always take ground. Always take ground. So that'll just give you a few ideas of some of the combinations you can do with the brass knuckles or the fist pack. Play with them, work the tool in with what you already do and what's already comfortable for you. That's a whole part of a system. That's the reason why you're training. Next we're going to just modify some of these techniques for the SAP gloves. Now we're going to start with the SAP glove combinations. First is going to be this rising jab, lead hammer fist, reverse punch. This looks very familiar. What's the difference? The only difference is how we manifest our hands. So it's similar to our finger dart, edge of hand, chin jab. And now we're just working with the tool and making them in the fist. So rising back fist, reverse punch. So, fist, first punch. Work the combination as always. So you're going to be smacking, stepping into the hammer fist, and then stepping into the reverse punch. As always, keep your feet the same distance apart. Stomp your feet. Next combination will be the lead back fist, rear hook punch, front kick, rising uppercut. So from a relaxed ready position, it's going to be lead back fist, rear hook punch, front kick, rising uppercut. So notice after the front kick, I'm stepping down. Now my rear hand is in the position for the rising uppercut. Start working it, start feeling it. That only comes from your training. Okay, next combination is that finger dart, lead hook, reverse punch, lead hook, rear hook. Okay, so finger dart, lead hook. I left out a reverse punch. No mind, we'll fix it. So finger dart, open them up, lead hook. Reverse punch to the body, lead hook, rear hook. So you're finger darting. Now you're stepping out, opening up your hip for the lead hook. Reverse punch, just driving into the body, into the throat. Next is going to be that lead hook again, coming into the side of the head, side of the neck, and then the rear hook. Step and over. Shifting your hips, shifting your hips. Finger dart. Let the hand just go where it needs to go. So it's going to drop and around. Now rear, I'm already set up for my reverse punch. On the balls of my feet, pushing off, throwing that baseball. Hook, over, rear, look at legs, off from the legs, bang. Drive them back into them. Using your legs and your hips to move. All your throws, all your blows, all your strikes, all coming from your hips and your legs and your bodies. From module 1, we've been going over this. So this is no different. No different. So that finger dart, open up, hips, lead hook, reverse punch, lead hook, rear hook. Again, letting your SAP gloves do the work. Same as before, work with them. You're going to love them. You're going to love them. Your hands aren't going to hurt when you're punching, and you're going to do some damage. As you can see from training on the Spar Pro, and the training dummy here, he's all cut up. But good training tool. Now we'll start with the Uwara stick, and like with most weapons, keep it in your rear hand protected. To start, just get used to how the weapon feels when you make impact. So you'll start hitting it in the body. You're going to find that you're going to squeeze it just like you would, ironically, it's a Japanese tool. So in judo, and then I'll bring it all together in a second, your grip is really the last 3 fingers. Okay, and this is the same way you're going to hold a katana, and this is going to be a very similar way to the same way you're holding this. So you really want to grip the snot out of it, especially with your pinky. I mean, the whole thing is going to be, you're going to be locked in here, just moving here, and then you're going to be working up. Like our edge of hands, our hooks, our reverse punches. What's good about even working on the training dummy with this is that it's harder than a human body. It's got the same feel, but this guy is, not giving me anything. So, excellent. So get used to gripping it, hitting from both sides. Even though we're primarily going to be carrying it in our strong hand. Using both. Practice combinations with right hand, right foot forward. So you're working it in a lead, and just work the dummy. Vertical, down, vertical, up, horizontal, both ways. Now put your foot back. Same thing, horizontal, vertical, and now straight. Other hand. Horizontal both ways, forward and back, vertical down, vertical up, foot back, set, and this way you get a feel how the weapon works and how you're going to have to be gripping it. So now we'll work it into some combinations. First, we're going to be the front whip kick, finger dart, tire claw, reverse punch. The same combination we just did with the other weapons. So, working low, working high, all we're doing, It's really simple because it's a progressive system. You're just using this weapon with the same body mechanics you just learned. So that front kick, finger dart, tiger claw, going to the body, going to the throat. Next, it's going to be our short edge of hand, long edge of hand, reverse uppercut. Now, if I would put this in my other hand, now, to a chin jab. So, short axe hand, long axe hand, chin jab. Same body mechanics as before. Open the hip up, and drive it through. As always, when you're hitting with the rear, you follow through with the rear hip. You got to open it up. Next combination: lead slap, short edge of hand, hook punch from the rear. So slap, edge of hand, driving this right in to the throat, collarbone, side of the head, eye, temple, whatever. Hitting this quarter of his body. Switching, so this lead slap motion comes over, short edge of hand, now finish with a chin jab. Remember, like before, just let the slap open up. You're driving over, into the face, chin jab to start. Yeah, and this will give you some excellent methods for using this tool. Okay, practice some combinations, fit the weapon into what you already like to do. Training at this point, suppose you're like, short edge of hand, chin jab, great. Here, short edge of hand, long edge of hand, holding him, bang. I mean, there's a lot you can do. Pinning him down, holding him in tight, multiplies the force of the weapon. Use it, have fun with it. Use it on the ground. Use it when you're, practice hitting the dummy, or, and even, working, if you get to work with a training partner at this point. Just be very careful, but it'll give you an idea and the reaction that somebody's going to give when you start just kind of even just digging this thing into them, as you saw in the instructional video. Okay? Again, great little tool. It would be, if carried today, would be inconspicuous. Very inconspicuous. Now we'll start with some of the truncheon single strikes. We're going to begin with the rising pommel stroke. Just sitting in just like you're doing your chin jab, driving the butt of it right into your target. Same rear hand, rear hip technique, so it's same motion as chin jabs, as your reverse punches. So that travel straight up, follow the center line of the body, right into the head. Even from the side, doesn't matter, just driving right into his head. Coming up from this, non-aggressive grip stance. The follow-up to that is just a forward pommel stroke, driven into the solar plexus, bladder, kidneys from the rear, spleen, and of course bladder from the front, driving in, and the liver. Again, just simply dropping and pointing the weapon into the target. Just like you would your Yawara stick. Same thing. Yeah. 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 Next stroke is going to be using from the point of the weapon. So we got the pommel, now we have the point. So this is going to be that rising front thrust, just straight up into the head. Yeah. 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 Done from close range. Yeah. 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 So you're just driving it straight up right from the center line into his chin. Whether you hit his chin or you get him to move, following up with a downward stroke. That's all you need is just this little reaction. Just that little reaction. Same movement as your chin jab. Next will be the forward thrust, right into the midsection, driving similar to your reverse punch. Again, pointing right at the target. Next, forward crossbar smash, just like we were doing with the short stick. Same thing. Face, into the body, into the chest. Be careful not to knock your dummy over. Just snapping it, or of course you would drive it just like we did in the club offensive tactics, just driving those knees, working him in and fighting with the weapon. But again, just as a nice stunning technique, bang, right into the chest. So you have the forward thrust. Of course, we've got the downward smash, downward crossbar smash, dropping it straight in, face on the chest, drop your weight, keep your chin down, as always. So you're just dropping and letting your weight pop into your target. Okay, really down. So you got your forward crossbar smash and your downward crossbar smash, which again are revisits from the club series. Next, pommel stroke to the rear. This time you would be grabbing the club again. If you were grabbed, attacked from the rear, so you would just move. And now to the other side. So as opposed to a club, which is typically a nightstick, which is longer, the truncheon allows you to work very, very close. So she's standing next to me and just turn. Or the truncheon is no different from any of the other weapons in that it fits exactly into what you've been training all along. Next, we're going to move to some of the combinations from a static position. Again, like everything else, these are not the be-all, end-all. These are just something to get you started, and then it's up to you to experiment and to play with these on your own. Again, the combinations could be endless as long as they follow the simple formula of weapon to target as quickly as possible and nearest threat as quickly as possible. You're fine. You're fine. All you're doing is using the techniques that we just learned especially for the truncheon and also with the club. You're going to see a lot of these techniques again. So we're going to begin with from the figure four position. It's going to be that pommel stroke to the face. Then we're going to step in, front smash up, and front smash down. So, 1, 2, 3. That's just one combination. Again, you can try the other combinations from Module 9 with we did with the offensive club and tactics. Next set is going to be with the weapon at your side. We're going to do an elbow spike, an edge of hand, a rising thrust, and a knee. So again, we're approached. Really simple. He's close. I spike it, hack him, drive it in, and bring the knee in. Final combination is from a two-handed grip. Okay, so this is going to be laying right across our side. We're going to just drive this in. So we're going to drive it up into his chin, knee, smash into his head. Notice this time, I'm just keeping the thrust up as opposed to just jacking him. So you drive it in, holding him, knee, you can do multiple knees, withdrawing, smashing it either on his face if he's still down, if he's there, or if he's down, it's going to be on the back of his neck and his head. Again, from this position, in our interview stance, weight on our front foot. And this will give you just a few basic ideas. You start experimenting with this on your own. Again, you'll find this is this was an excellent and long forgotten tool that's just as effective today as it was back then. This weapon, you're going to notice you're going to want to keep it tight. No big swings. It's not meant to be used like that. It's just meant to snap, snap, snap. So with it in your strong hand, you're going to start with your rear foot forward. You're just going to practice all your basic directions. So up, down, side, side, left. Okay, it's important that you know any weapon you carry or anything that you use that you practice with it. Funny story, when I first started learning this and was training on the Spartan Pro, I hit and it came back and hit me in the head. Yes, I do admit, it would have been funny to see me lying there next to the Spartan Pro with the blackjack down. I guess from he would have gotten his revenge. But needless to say, it didn't happen and I wasn't embarrassed. But the lesson learned is before you carry something, you don't know how it's going to react. So you want to be able to know that I know when you hit it, it's going to recoil in a way. If this is a heavier blackjack, I'm going to keep my hand out a little farther. I have to, because if it's heavier, it's going to come back and do some damage to me. So avoid the embarrassment of having your friends and family walk in on you while you're unconscious on the floor. Practice, 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 and start slow. So we're going to start with this strong foot back. Again, snap, 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 snap. Working all over the Spartan Pro, vertical, and then other way. Now in your lead hand. Nothing more to it. Nothing more to it. So This snapping motion, now we're just going to do our combinations just to open up what we already know. So notice that blackjack is, works same body mechanics. Same body mechanics. So we'll start, first combination, short edge of hand, long edge of hand, vertical down strikes. Relax, ready, interview stance. Collarbone broken, cheek smashed, neck carotid, done, out. Good night. Next combination is going to be with the blackjack in the lead hand. So it's going to be this lead hand, slap strike, horizontal strike, tiger claw, and then vertical strikes. So So again, it doesn't matter where it's hitting, it's just driving down. So this opening technique stuns him, snaps him, take my rear tire claw, plant him, cover some ground, finish hammering him. Next combination is going to be tiger claw, not just like a diagonal strike down, that vertical strike down. Okay, then you're going to driving knees and double fist smash down. Okay, so combination again. It's going to be heel, hand to face, diagonal strike down, catching the face, double knee strike, double fist down. So, this time using just the end of the blackjack as an added fist pack, okay, or like a Yawara stick. Okay, so you still have also using this like a Yawara, driving the tip in as well. If you were holding him, moving him in. It's to get a little attention getter. You can use this from a grappling position, holding in, driving it in, just like you were a Yawara stick. Just because it's hidden doesn't mean that you can't be used for other deeds. In here, a little too close, maybe we want to regulate the force a little bit. Dropping straight in. Excellent tool. Personal, fan of the blackjack. Final combination is going to be using it like a Yawara stick, so it's going to be that front thrust, shoulder smash, rear thrust, rear rising strike, and then a downward strike. Step. Okay, so just working it through your dummy, trying it in different ways with the weapon, exploring, the many ways you can use this. Again, as instead of just striking, using it like a Yawara, using it like a fist pack. Okay, there's a variety of ways to use this. Again, this is a personal favorite of mine, and yeah, it's classic. I'll move to the Spring Kosh. Of course, just from its natural steel construction, you can use this as a Yawara stick or a fist pack. So we've pretty much covered that. We'll just work on the specific dynamics of this tool. So first, you have to get used to how this works. Okay, so you're going to snap it out, and it's going to snap. So you're noticing that this dummy is cut up. Okay, a lot of that is from this particular weapon. Okay, it doesn't look like, well, what the heck can I do? Because you're thinking that this is what you're going to be hitting with, but it's any basic physics. This force on this tip of this is accelerated, and you are snapping. Make sure to keep a wide enough berth around your head so you don't hit yourself. All right, smacking it low to the body. The more whipping action you can get, the more effective it's going to be. More effective it'll be. So, first combination, short edge of hand, long edge of hand, vertical down strike. And we can start with the weapon just closed. So, short, long, tip facing out, short, long, even as you're coming up, hitting up on the draw and hitting down. Okay. Obviously really simple, fits into exactly what we've been doing all along. Next two methods you're going to practice are just basically coming out of a draw. So we're going to start with your hands folded, and I want you to, right now, that you're going to come up with some methods on your own. So you can start like front kick, edge of hand, out. I mean, really anything, short axe hand, long axe hand, even driving it down as a fist pack, a Yawara stick, and then coming in with the strike. So it's concealed, it's inconspicuous. So kicking across and down. So right there, we did this draw, and then this draw. Then anytime we open it, this can coming across the face and striking down. Very brutal, very effective. This will just cut across the face, lacerating the eyes, the cheek, the nose, and then coming in for, that's all the opening you need. All the opening you need. Second draw to consider is by your side, keeping the weapon back, keeping the weapon concealed. You have a weapon, you can afford yourself sometimes a little time. That may not necessarily be a strike. You can post off of him, keep him away from your body, up, and do your worst. Now, keeping him away, it's the old Roman shield, up, again, finger darting him, edge of hand backing. So easily concealed, easily deployed. That's it. With even if you just understood how this worked, with what you already know, you'd be able to use this no problem. That's the whole point of the self-defense training system. All this stuff. Okay? It's meant to be worked with or without a weapon. Same body movements. You don't need to practice anything fancy. Same stuff. Now you just have another tool in your hand. Next, we're going to complete our study of the old school assassination tools by seeing seeing their effect on a dummy and how devastating they probably were. As you can see, we've got our Bob dummy here fitted with the pool noodle and some duct tape, which is, again, he's doing his best Hannibal Lecter impression. This is really all you need to give you the, that could give you possibly the idea. This is what we did best to replicate what a human throat, human head would feel like, or so I'm told. So we're just going to go through some of the garroting methods and some of the ice picking methods, and then lastly the razor blade methods, just so you can get a look at how these weapons would have affected their target and the damage that they could cause. So first, we're just going to start with the garrote. So we're just going to remember we're just going to do the cross over, and now. Again, you can see how deep it cut in and worked right through the tough duct tape. And I'm cranking on this thing, and this thing is all of a $3, $4 PVC cutter. So there's really not a lot of technology to it. Just want to make sure I'm on the duct tape and on the, so it doesn't look like I'm getting a false read. And then pull. So again, very, would have been very effective. Again, you can see the line coming into the duct tape and how quickly and how much it cut into the dummy. Again, this is just, some of the old gangster movies you see them using piano wire. That worked well, just as well too. Next will be our ice pick. Again, we're going to be obviously just easy enough at thrusting in, rotating it around, stabbing it into the dummy, and out. Okay? And very simple. No problem going into target. Very tough. Okay. And it's meant to take the abuse. Slides in really, no problem. No problem whatsoever. And it's actually going through my poo noodle and right into the dummy. No problem. No problem. So, very, very effective. Last will be our straight razor. Again, if you plan to, practice this on your own, make sure that you take great care. These are extremely sharp, and this thing is all but a couple dollars. So, let's see. Hold him up and slicing him across. Okay, this grip, in this fighting position, not so much. This razor, not so good. So this grip, okay, not so good. Let's try this grip that's made for this position. Oh. Ow. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. All the way cut, all the way through. Driving it in, deep. Gripping it tight. Make sure that you have it so that's against your knuckles. You would have to hold it like this manner, so it's frozen, and you would cut. Okay, as you can see, pretty nasty stuff. All the way in, not a lot of effort to do this. Yeah, it just actually went in like they say in New York, like butter. Okay, this concludes the training segments, or this training study of old school weapons and tactics. I hope you found it informative and helpful in compiling your knowledge of real-world self-defense. So until next time, train honestly.